nimepewa mamlaka mimi, siogopi kupe na nyoka, nitawakanyaga vichwa vyao, watajua utukufu ni wako. Nimepewa mamlaka mimi, siogopi kupe na nyoka, nitawakanyaga vichwa vyao, watajua utukufu ni wako. Siogopi kutembea gizani, maana mimi ni nuru, ninaangaza gizani.
This one is painful, si ndio? Hebu angalia vizuri. This is President William Samoei Ruto, economic advisor David D, telling Kenyans that going forward all the taxes zitakuwa zinaokotwa, they will be going towards 2027 campaign for William Samoei Ruto. That he will be going from village to village campaigning juu ya magari, akilaunch vitu hewa. Na 2027 mkitaka kuwa kama Cherara 4, mwende museme kimeibiwa, you can do it. They don't give a damn. That is a country whereby school system is collapsing. Hawa ni walimu wa university na secondary wote wanataka kwenda strike. Hizi ni mahospitali hazina dawa. Hii ni country hata hakuna kilomita ya barabara yamejenga. For 2 years amekopa than any other president. Hakuna project umeona. But here is them, economic advisor, telling you that from now going forward, every coin William atakuwa juu ya gari, akitembea akiambia watu tumefanya for 2027. Because yeye Ruto hakuna kitu kingine anafikiriaga ni campaign. Alafu tuona watu Central wakipanga laini wapewe 200. Utaona Wakenya wengine mahali ingine wakipanga laini wapewe 200. When their country is going down, when they can't be able to educate children, when they can't be able, ati mtu mmoja wa familia akigonjeka, familia yote inasota. But these people are there telling you, you can go to hell. That is their strategy going forward. Because Kenyans to them are idiots and they are stupid. What is the difference between what William Samoei Ruto was doing towards 2022 and this one? Hii akijiombesha kwa huu mama, venye unaona anajiombesha hapa hivi, si mnajua wote hii ni ukora tu. Hii hata imeshinda alikuwa analia. This one. Ndio aombe votes. Hii yenye anakula mabofu hapa ilikuwa inashinda mpaka ile alikuwa anazunguka na chapati zikiwa kwa bucket akipatia watu all the way akizunguka na chapati. You know, I don't know what's wrong with Kenyans. I don't know what's wrong with Kenya, because such a man should not even get half a vote in this country. Yani mimi vitu ndaniumaga sana.
Because umenitusi dama, umeongea mengi.
Hata nimemention hata hao wenye
umeongea mengi, umeongea mabeste wangu mengi.
Nimeongea saa ngapi? Nimekuongea kukuhusu saa ngapi? Hawa watu wako hapa live, ongeeni.
Sasa uzuri wangu hata watu watastuka, hakuna pale nimekutusi wewe.
Mimi nimeongea, umenitusi kwa comment section.
Umenitusi na Tomba Mkundu dama.
Nimekutusi hata umenitusi, unatambwa Mkundu.
Okay, haina shida, hiyo ni matusi, hakuna pale imeshika. Hakuna pale imeshika kwa tisha.
Usijaribu kunitusi siku nyingine my guy, don't ever.
Okay, mimi ni dama nianza kukutusi, hata wewe unazalia hii America, trust me.
Nitusi, so nitusi.
Familia yenu inaolewa yenye inafukuza na ratimisha ndoa.
Familia yangu
uliona sister yako bila mlimwandika. Wewe mwenyewe hujaolewa na wewe ni mzee. Umbwa hii. Wewe mtu wakuja kunitusi. Family mumeolewa umbwa hii. Taka mamako. Mpaka mamaka alisimamisha harusi.
Umeoa.
Ati mnaenda kusimamisha harusi muolewe. Hata sitaka nafukuza because ya Musai tasa hii. Kondo. Tasa ndio maana usai. Kucha siku ingine unitusi umbwa hii. Unanitusi tumbo mbele pati ushiki mimba. Takataka si juzi ulikuwa umeweka mzungu. Sasa umbo. Karibu. Naribu ndio yenye unaenda kupewa makaratasi. Wallahi. Dama sinajua nikupali alikuwa naenda kuolewa. Naribu ya harusi. Unaenda kuolewa mpaka unataka kuhama. Unaenda wallahi utajua mimi ni nani. Trust me. Ati unaenda kupewa makaratasi. Just wait, utawait.
Haribu harusi makaratasi. Mimi niko na green card makaratasi.
Changanya Wakenya wajinga nonsense. Ole wangu mnalazimisha harusi. Sister yako ndio hiyo kirasimizi. Wewe kirasimizi. Wewe ni mtu wakuja kunistua. Sister wangu anaolewa bila kujirasimisha. Mnaolewa mnatipaka makeup mkifukuza SDM mnaanza kupiga kelele. Mfukuze because hamna akili.
Niolewa ama kuolewa?
Wapi na asai? Bibi yule mwingine anarudi. because hii kirasimisi
Which one?
hazizaangi.
What are you talking about?
Matasa nyinyi kwenu, matasa hii nonsense. Ndio maana hata uwezi saa Amerikana umefikisha unaelekea 40 years. You are going to 40 years. You have a kid, you have baby because
Yes, I
you
have
are
a kid.
fucking.
I have a kid, yes.
Wapi? Unazana mkundu ama unazana kuma? Mungu unatomba usiku na mchana but umekauka mdomo taka. Natomba matako but niko na kid nesa salisa mbele nesa ingisa mimba. Taka taka. You don't have kucha hapa mnitusi. Nyaboke, I'm sending you pesa pa Nyaboke kama uko hapa. I'm sending you private a lot of money.
Rachel Ruto, your behavior and character is giving Jezebel. How is it that you want to continue with business as usual when people are conducting funerals, burials, and vigils for the youth that died on the streets? You want to continue with business as usual, going for fundraisers, using taxpayers' money. Let's talk about your Jezebeli quiz of inviting foreign prophets to State House and funding foreign prophets who are disgraced even in the countries that they come from using taxpayers' money, exactly the way Jezebel used to fund the prophets of Baal and Asherah. It is the same exact script. Let's talk about women like you who are described in the book of Amos 4, women of Samaria who would abuse, neglect the poor and ask for more wine at the expense of the poor. Isn't that what you're doing when you're asking for funding for your office? By the way, when you took a private jet to go and invite Benny Hinn to come and pray for problems that you have contributed towards, did you consider that the cost of doing that could alleviate the problems in the village that you come from? In your own backyard, people die of snake bites because antivenom is not readily available. Dispensaries are not readily available. There is teacher shortage in that area. Food and water is a problem. Poor infrastructures in schools is a problem. But you have the funds to give these foreign prophets. You have the funds for a private jet. And by the way, your office is unconstitutional. But you didn't know because you're not even familiar with the font with which our constitution is written in. And all this thing about it, your office is doing faith diplomacy. For us, faith diplomacy is euphemism for hogwash and high-class nonsense. It means nothing. Faith diplomacy does not affect the common mwananchi. They have bigger problems to think about, like Linda Mama. By the way, Kenya stayed for 24 years without a first lady. And in those 24 years, Maziwa ya Nyayo was available in schools for kids. That should tell you that Moi was more motherly than you.
Eti kama bado hujui soft life ni nini, nenda ukajaribu, maana hata siwezi kukuambia ni nini. Ukiipata utajua. Yaani siku ile yenye utaianza, ukionja, wewe mwenyewe utajua ni nini. Nenda ukajaribu na hautajuta, utaipenda tena sana. Nenda ukaitafute na utaipata. Hapa kwenye dating site ndio zimejaa tena sana. Yaani kuna watu wanabahatika, wanaziokota, wanazifanya na ukibarikiwa ukaipata. Ukibahatika ukapata soft life, na kuambia utajua soft life ni nini, sawa? Na siku ile yenye utajua soft life ni nini, utaenjoy tena sana soft life, sawa? Ni maisha matamu tena sana. Nenda ukajaribu.
When you study the history of the Ma'afa, the transatlantic slave trade, many of those who were brought to Jamaica came from the Nigeria, Benin, Cameroon, Congo region. That is a very unapologetic fight to the death region. Some of the ethnic kingdoms in that region, the white man didn't even want to enslave them because it was too difficult to break them. Jamaicans still have that spirit. They are indomitable as a people. It's no coincidence that it was a Jamaican bookman who went to Haiti and led the Haitian Revolution. You understand? when you look at Nani, when you look at Cujo and Akangpong and all those revolutionary Jamaicans, it's no coincidence that they had so many revolutionaries on that island, because they brought that African spirit that can never be broken. And if African people are going to be free, geographically in the Caribbean or globally across the world, Jamaica will play a role in it. Just like when I go to Africa, I say it all the time. In order for Africa to be free, Nigeria will have to play a role in it because of their indomitable spirit. You can see that the Jamaicans and the Nigerians have the same blood. It's like, it's undeniable. So number one, that spirit of revolution. And then when you take the Rasta culture and what that did, and when you take Bob Marley's success and reggae and what that did, and of course the greatest Pan-Africanist and greatest organizer of all time, Marcus Garvey, you know, coming from Jamaica, and others, you understand. But I think when you look at their national heroes and the Pan-African impact that they had, Bob Marley was a Pan-Africanist. The Rastafari are Pan-Africanists. Marcus Garvey, the father of modern Pan-Africanism. John Brown Russworm, the revolutionaries that came over out of there. You know, even to the slave revolt leaders, you know, Sam Sharp, you know, Paul Bogle. When you look at the Pan-Africanist nature that is at the foundation of the revolutionary Jamaican spirit, it helps you to understand why they are so feared and loved around the world. You know, they're so unapologetic that when some people are trying to kick off revolutionary movements, if they're not sincere, they will screen for the Jamaicans. They want to make sure I don't have no Jamaicans in this, because I know when the Jamaicans come, they come to war. They come to fight. You don't invite the Jamaicans unless you're sincere. You understand? Because I would probably say per capita, you know, there's some of the greatest revolutionaries that the race has ever produced.
Wow.
First of all, let me say we're Tawe, whatever that means. Tawe. Speaker Wetangula has clearly confirmed to us and many other Kenyans that the National Assembly is an extension of the executive. It is absolutely ludicrous, draconian for a speaker who was a member of the Senate to deny senators an opportunity to be able to sit in the galleries to follow the proceedings. What Weta is forgetting is that power is transient. He's so drunk in power, you know, I'm sure today even his very thin skin will be melting because he cannot be able to handle the pressure. Why on earth would Speaker Wetangula deny senators, you know, who are elected? He's not elected, he was appointed, and then, you know, elected by the members. He's supposed to be a symbol of unity of the House. But when he decides to come up with his own laws, this is something really that we should worry about. I have mad respect, mad love for the Gen Zs, for what they're doing. We need intergenerational fairness. It is not right that this generation, which is led by Speaker Wetangula, is continuing overburdening the future generations. So what the Gen Zs are doing out there, the Gen Alpha, they are trying to protect their children, something that Weta is not doing, you know? And I think it's about time that as Kenyans, we now need to start changing the system of public participation. The real public participation is happening out in the streets. You know, if you go to Eldoret, mad respect for you. Today, you drop down the wheelbarrow from up the roof. It shows that this administration is dead, you know? So what we are saying is that there is more to come. You know, people used to think that Raila is the only one who will come out there. We told them. And now whatever we told them, we professed, we prophesized, it is happening. And it is going to be punitive. Finally, I think it is important for any leader, and particularly Weta, to realize that power is transient. He will not be a speaker of the National Assembly forever. We were just meeting with the former speaker, who is now the Attorney General. You know, people come and go. People come and go. You will not be a speaker forever. So even if you've turned Parliament into a military compound by making sure that you restrict access into Parliament, I can tell you this. The way you are extending Parliament to become an extension of the executive, you are trying to kill devolution. You are trying to kill democracy in this country. We, as young leaders as well, we will not succumb to your stupid threats. We will not succumb to your illiteracy, because there's nothing I can define this. You know, I mean, I agree with Sifuna. The guy is acting as if he's not only a chairman of, hooligans, but he's acting as if he's a DJ in a matanga. Seriously. I want to remind him what I told him in the Senate, that a man with one cow can never be a chairman of a kettle dip. There is no way he is going to be a leader in this country going forward. The Gen Zs have said no, and we have also said no. Santi.
When Maandamano was happening, some people moved me to tears because I saw a lady who closed a shop, a very tiny shop, what you would call a poor shop. They took 5 crates of soda and 2 crates of water. Wherever you are, God bless you. And they came to the people who were doing Maandamano and they distributed. And you can see this person is poor. They don't have much, but they have given water and soda. Others gave queen cakes, by the way. I remember doctors who volunteered and came and said, we are here to offer our services. And there's one who gave his own blood. Someone needed blood and one was willing to have their own blood taken out of their system to give a protester they have never seen or never known. They have seen them on the streets that day. And I saw churches that opened their doors. I thank the Muslim community for opening their mosque, and people could come there for water and people could find shelter. I thank every person who showed the true Kenyan spirit, because I am telling you, there was a boda guy who, and you know they work so hard, 50 bob here, 100 bob here, for him to collect 400 shillings and to go and buy 1 carton of water. It's a huge sacrifice. And then he came and he gave that water to the protesters. And I remember there was a police who was overcome by tear gas. And there were young people who came and helped him to raise and they gave him to wash his face. In Nakuru, there was a place where policemen were overpowered, about 10 of them, and they were being chased. And I remember Kenyans saying, Musiwapige, don't beat them, don't touch them, don't just help them to get away. Only for the police to go and regroup and come and start beating these people again. So that Kenyan spirit must be applauded. Let us not dwell so much on those many bad things and we forget that there are some very beautiful, painfully beautiful things that happened on the streets. I will never forget anybody who left their work.
Leo nataka nifafanue kitu, sawa? Kenya kama unavyoona Kenya ile kama Kenya. Sawa. Kenya ni taifa, yani tuseme ni taifa tofauti kabisa. Ni taifa tofauti na mataifa mengine, lakini pia wanaishi kitofauti. Sawa? Tuseme tu Kenya ni dunia fulani hivi, ni kadunia. Yani wana kadunia kao. Sawa? Kenya sio watu wa kulizika. Kenya sio watu wa kusikia ujinga. Sawa? Kenya sio watu wa kunyanyaswa. Kenya sio watu wa kuambiwa kitu ambacho hakiwafai wakakichukua. Lakini Tanzania tunaweza tukaambiwa chochote kile tukapiga makofi. Tanzania tunaweza tukaambiwa ujinga wote ule tukasema sawa. Tanzania tunaogopa chochote kile ambacho kinakuja kwenye maisha yetu. Sana ambacho kinahusu serikali. Yaani hizo ndio tunaogopa sana. Ila tungeishi kama Kenya, hii serikali yetu ingenyoka, ingekaa sawa, wakina Makonda wangekuwa Kenya.
Because you have never been black before yourself, and you have never known how bad it is to be black in South Africa.
Can you hold up? You only hear one side. You only hear anti-apartheid in this country and in Britain. You never hear the good things about it.
All right, now take up the running. Yes, Chairman, you take up the running to answer that.
I have gone to South Africa to work myself from Rhodesia, and I'm a foreign African according to the South African situation. I went to South Africa not because life is better for Africans in South Africa. In fact, you can easily say life is better for Africans in South Africa because you have never been black before yourself, and you have never known how bad it is to be black in South Africa.
Can you hold up, Chairman? Can you give us some small, everyday examples of what it's like to be black in South Africa?
To be black in South Africa is that you are in restriction daily. You have to carry a pass. You are not allowed to travel late at night in the city except for white people who are God's people. And in South Africa, you are not allowed to go even into certain restaurants because they are all white. There are always signs all over the city that non-whites, people who are not white, go through this direction. People who are not white, who are white, should go through this direction. And the directions through which white people pass, they are beautiful places, well painted, everything is fine. You find an African worker working in the mines getting £6, £2 a month, and a white worker getting over 100. And then you say life for Africans is better in South Africa.
What will you say to somebody?
Lakini kuna Mkenya mwingine mahali Raila akitaka kuwa president hataki, akipanga maandamano hataki, akiwacha maandamano hataki, akiongea hataki, akinyamaza hataki. Anasema sasa wacha niende AU, hautaki. Anasema sasa sitaki AU, hautaki. Sasa wewe unataka nini? Wewe hutaki kila kitu. Sasa hata do you want Raila to commit suicide? Hata hiyo pia hautaki.